Work on yourself until you become unrecognizable, not just on the outside, but in the way you think, the way you move, the way you respond to life. Because right now, there's a version of you that people are used to, predictable, available, comfortable, easy to understand, easy to ignore. But there's another version of you, a version built on discipline, on focus, on control, a version that doesn't react emotionally, doesn't chase validation, doesn't waste time proving anything to anyone. And the truth is, most people will never meet that version of you, not because it doesn't exist, but because it requires something rare, sacrifice. You see, becoming unrecognizable isn't about pretending to be someone else. It's about removing everything that made you weak, distracted, and average. It's about outgrowing your old habits, your old mindset, your old identity, and rebuilding yourself with intention, with discipline, with purpose. But this transformation doesn't happen randomly. It follows a process, a silent, disciplined, uncomfortable process. And in this video, we're going to break it down into 9 powerful steps. 1. The moment everything changes. There comes a moment where you get tired, not physically, mentally, a kind of exhaustion that sleep can't fix. You wake up, but you don't feel alive. You move, but you don't feel progress. You look at your life, and something feels off. Tired of wasting time, tired of distractions, tired of repeating the same days, with no real direction, tired of starting things and never finishing them, tired of knowing what you're capable of, but not living up to it. And the worst part, it's not that you don't have potential, it's that you can feel it. You can see the gap between who you are and who you could become. And that gap, it starts to haunt you. You begin to notice everything, the habits that slow you down, the people that drain you, the comfort that's quietly destroying you. What once felt normal now feels like a trap. And in that moment, something shifts. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. Internally, you stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop expecting life to change on its own. And you accept something most people avoid. If nothing changes, nothing changes. That's when the decision happens. Not a public one, not something you announce. A private decision, a real one. I need to change. Not for people, not for validation, not to impress anyone, but because you're tired of betraying your own potential. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Now, because you finally understand there will never be a perfect moment. No perfect timing, no perfect conditions, only a choice. Stay the same or become someone new. And that's where everything begins. Not with motivation, but with a decision. You refuse to break this time. 2. Why most people never evolve. Here's the truth. Most people want results, but they don't want discipline. They want success, but they avoid discomfort. They want respect, but they don't respect their own time. They want the outcome without becoming the person required to achieve it. So they stay the same, year after year, talking, planning, dreaming, but never transforming, because transformation requires separation. And that's the part most people refuse to accept. Separation from distractions, separation from comfort, separation from habits that feel good, but lead nowhere. It also means separation from environments that keep you small, from conversations that don't challenge you, from people who only know the old version of you. And that's where it gets difficult, because evolving doesn't just change your life, it changes your circle. Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they're too attached. Attached to comfort, attached to familiarity, attached to being accepted. They would rather stay the same and be understood than evolve and be alone. So they compromise, they delay, they make excuses. I'll start tomorrow. I just need more time. I'm not ready yet. But the truth is, they're not waiting for the right moment. They're avoiding the hard one, because growth is uncomfortable. It demands consistency. It demands sacrifice. It demands that you show up, even when you don't feel like it. And most people don't have the discipline to choose long-term growth over short-term comfort. So they stay stuck, not because they have to, but because they choose to. every single day. And that's the difference. Evolving isn't about knowing more. It's about doing more, consistently, without excuses. And until someone accepts that, they will always admire growth, without ever experiencing it. 3. Disappearing from distractions. You don't need to disappear from the world. You need to disappear from distractions, because the problem was never people. It was access. Too much noise, too many opinions, too many things pulling your attention in different directions, so you reduce it. Less noise, less talking, less explaining, less scrolling, less reacting, less wasting energy on things that don't move your life forward. And in that space, you create something rare: clarity, more focus, more action, more discipline. You stop reacting to everything. Every message doesn't need a reply. Every opinion doesn't need a response. Every situation doesn't need your energy. You start moving with intention. Not urgency, not pressure, precision. You stop giving your energy to everyone because you realize energy is limited, and where you invest it determines who you become. So you become selective. Selective with your time, selective with your circle, selective with your habits. You no longer chase attention. You protect your focus because you finally understand your life is shaped by what you tolerate, what you allow, what you entertain, what you keep repeating. If you tolerate distractions, you build a distracted life. If you tolerate excuses, you build a stagnant life. But when you raise your standards, everything changes. Disappearing isn't about isolation. It's about elimination, removing what weakens you so you can focus on what builds you. And the moment you do that, your life gets quieter, but your progress gets louder. The Stoic shift. This is where Stoicism begins. You stop trying to control everything around you and start controlling yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your habits. You don't complain. You don't blame. You don't react impulsively. You observe. You adapt. You move forward quietly. Or building discipline. Discipline is not motivation. Motivation comes and goes. It's emotional, unstable, unreliable. Some days you feel unstoppable. Other days you feel nothing. And if you depend on motivation, you will always be inconsistent. Discipline is different. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It gives instructions and expects execution. It's waking up when you don't feel like it. It's working when no one is watching. It's staying consistent when results are slow and nothing seems to be changing. It's showing up on the days you'd rather disappear. It's finishing what you start, even when the excitement is gone. Because discipline is not about intensity. It's about repetition, doing the right things over and over again until they become automatic. No emotions, no excuses, no negotiation. You don't debate with discipline. You follow it. And this is where most people break. Because discipline is boring. It's routine. It's structure. It's doing the same things when nobody is clapping. No recognition, no instant reward, just effort. But that's the secret. That's where the transformation happens. In the repetition no one sees. It's choosing growth over comfort again and again. When it's hard, when it's inconvenient, when it's uncomfortable. And over time, something changes. What once felt forced becomes natural. What once felt difficult becomes standard. You stop relying on motivation because you've built something stronger, a system, a mindset, an identity. You don't try to be disciplined anymore. You are disciplined. And that's when everything shifts. Because once discipline becomes who you are, success is no longer a question. It becomes a direction. 6. Cutting what holds you back. To become unrecognizable, you must let go of what keeps you familiar. Old habits, old environments, old mindsets, sometimes even old relationships. Not out of hate, but out of growth. Because not everyone is meant to grow with you. 7. The lonely phase. No one talks about this part, the silence, the distance, the loneliness. You'll feel it when you stop doing what everyone else does. You stand alone. But that's where clarity comes from. That's where strength is built. That's where identity is formed. You are not losing your life. You are rebuilding it. 8. The transformation. Day by day, nothing seems to change. No big moments, no sudden breakthroughs, no instant results, just the same routine, repeated again and again. And that's where most people quit, because they expect progress to feel exciting, visible, immediate, rewarding. But real transformation is quiet. It happens in the small decisions, waking up on time, doing the work, staying consistent, even when it feels like nothing is happening. But everything is changing. Your mindset. You think differently. You react less. You observe more. Problems don't shake you like before. Your habits. What used to take effort now feels automatic. You don't force discipline anymore. You follow it. Your standards. You tolerate less. You expect more from yourself. Excuses no longer sound convincing. And slowly, you become someone new. You become sharper, more aware, more intentional, more precise in how you move. You become calmer, less reactive, less emotional, more in control of yourself. You become focused. Distractions lose their power. Noise becomes irrelevant. You know what matters, and you protect it. And then something subtle happens. You stop chasing attention. You stop needing validation. You stop trying to prove yourself, because you're no longer building for others to see. You're building because it's who you are now. And without saying anything, people start noticing, not because you demanded it, but because your presence changed, your energy changed, your standards changed. And that's when respect comes, naturally, silently, without effort, because real transformation doesn't announce itself. It reveals itself, and by the time they notice, you're already far ahead. 9. The return. Then one day, you show up again, not announced, not explained, not trying to prove anything. You just appear, and people notice, not because you said anything, but because everything about you changed. Your energy, it's different, more controlled, more grounded. You're not seeking attention anymore, but somehow you command it. Your standards. You don't tolerate what you used to. You don't accept what once felt normal. You've raised the bar, and you refuse to lower it again. Your presence. You walk differently. You speak less. You observe more. There's a calm confidence in you now. Not loud, not forced. Real. They look at you, and something feels unfamiliar. You don't react the same. You don't laugh at the same things. You don't move like you used to. And that's when it hits them. They don't recognize you anymore. Good. That means it worked. Because the version of you they knew was still distracted, still inconsistent, still undecided. That version had to go. You didn't lose yourself. You removed what wasn't you. The habits that held you back. The mindset that kept you small. The patterns that kept you stuck. And what's left is something stronger, more focused, more disciplined, more intentional. You found yourself, not by chance, but through pressure, through consistency, through silence. And now, you don't need to explain your growth. You don't need to defend your distance. You don't need to prove anything. Because it shows in how you move, in how you think, in how you live. So keep going. Stay focused, stay disciplined, stay silent. Because this version of you is just the beginning. And the next one will be even harder to recognize.